look good too. Can you hear me okay, Todd? Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's
Okay.
perfect. Yeah, the sound's excellent. Excellent. Okay, let me go in here and let's see. Okay. Oh, we're live.
Oh, we are.
I almost said something. Yeah, I almost said something. Yeah, we got 9 people in the house. Let me go in here. Yeah, I was reading that note from my kid, and I was about to make a comment. I'm glad I didn't. Okay, let's see. All right. Let's see. All right, yeah. 19 people in the house.
Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. Let's see now. All right, let's see who we got here. Karen Starr. Shanine is in the house.
Hi, Karen.
Agatha Joy Herman, Lisa Helmer, Claire Lineman, Laurel Gill, Edina Costa, Denise Chadwick, happy birthday. I think it was your birthday. Amira Beth, going to see you in a few days. Valerie Peterman. Amira Beth, there's an ecstatic dance event tonight in Kapa'a. My friends that are visiting invited me. I don't know if you'd want to go. Evie Anastati, Mary Cooper, she's always here. Diane McLaughlin, always here. Raquel Toombs, my friend from Canada. Jeanette Allen, Eliza Whitworth, Cleo Ferraro, Terry Willette, Bernadette Mundy, Ben Houseman. Oh my God, they just keep coming. Ian Boldy, Aaron Shriekdeal from Texas. I'm from Texas. Leah Phillips. Okay, so yeah, I just want to say to everybody, thank you for your continued love and support and contributions. We've been down for a few days. I needed to catch my breath because we're going to launch this thing. This network is going to be launched next weekend. So we're getting down to the wire. So it's a lot of work, and it looks pretty good. We'll see how it goes. We'll talk about that more later. But today we're here to talk to our friend, Susan Marie. She's been on before. She does some powerful work. She's got an excellent bio. You can read it in the content of the post. If these shows resonate with you, please share so we can stay above the algorithms at Facebook. And I will say this, when we start broadcasting out of our own site next weekend, and we'll be talking about that during the week, we will be simulcasting on YouTube and Facebook for at least 30 days before we totally disengage. So we'll talk about that more. Susan, how you doing? Welcome back to the show. Thank you for coming and sharing space with us and honoring us with your presence.
Oh, thank you for having me, Todd. It's a joy to be here.
You said that the energies started yesterday. I noticed that, and I love when, like, you know, people that have been in the game for a long time, I'm not in that category, like yourself, and they're like, oh my God, the energies are kicking my butt, you know? And so when we first connected before the show, you said the energies are very intense. I noticed yesterday that it would have been 10. Greg Prescott put up a Schumann resonance post, and there was a total whiteout, which is the 3rd one this year, and I think the 3rd one ever, actually. And I think it came in about 10 a.m. Eastern time, is what he said. Something to that effect. So it started for you yesterday. What was that like?
Yeah, what was interesting?
Did you get a phone call from the universe? How do they communicate with you?
Well, sometimes they'll give me dates. So I've known for a few months that on April 12th, something was going to happen with me specifically. And yesterday I was holding a group in London, Ontario. There was about 20 of us gathering. And it dawned on me that it was that date. And all of a sudden, as I acknowledged the date, this wave of vibration came in and just started shaking my whole body. And what I understand is it's a level of embodiment that's coming in. So as we are letting go of the things that we have known in 3D, and many of us, as you know, have labored in 3D for so long, that we have to let go of what we have known in order to enter into the new. And so every which way I begin a day, it's always in the place of surrender and the allowing of this new energy to come in. In the last week, what I've noticed is that as I'm emailing people, I'm responding and hitting send, and then I'll look at it and I can't find the email I sent. So I don't know what dimension I'm moving in half of the time. So I, actually have to lower my vibration to go back and have a look to see where it is. So,
yeah.
And it's just, we're entering into a whole new playground.
Yeah.
And this is, one of the truths that I think a lot of people that have been moving within the 3D concepts are going to struggle a little bit with, because everything that was created in the old was created as gods not knowing who they are. So it wasn't in the fullness of it. And as we move forward, we must surrender all identification, all attachment, all ways of doing things, all of the procedures, protocols, certifications, and leave it all behind, because none of it can go through. We're going into its perfect form as perfect beings of the light. And so it's a stripping away. The ascension process isn't an acquiring levels of, it is the removing of all of the deception that we have been under, all of the restrictions that we have lived in, and all of the systems of control that, as we know, are falling apart around us all the time. And so where it's falling around us in government and in society, and even in around the people that we're noticing, a lot of mental illness, a lot of suicidal thoughts, a lot of very odd behavior in people as they're faced with these emotions that are putting them to the floor, will increase to bring people to the place of, I've got nothing left and I don't know what to do, which is the perfect place of entry into freedom. But people aren't willing to look at it. And this is what comes in today for me today, Todd, as I messaged you earlier before the show, was truth. It's the eternal truth, that which we truly are. And we have to measure everything that we are moving forward to under that universal law of truth. And so what is truth, right? And this is where we go.
Oh man, this is good. You're rolling. So and I love what you said. I just want to state this again. I love it when people like yourself are able to say, I'm getting rained on. It's, you know what I mean? And
I got to let go of things too.
Yeah, no, but exactly. And that's the thing is, it's like it's like the false part of us as a human is being stripped away, but there's beneath it it's not a soul, it's not a spirit, it's a divine human. It's a physical Merkaba, basically. And the other thing that you were saying too was in regard to like with the email, sending an email. Well, I'm noticing little anomalies like that. I'm noticing other people. I'm noticing it with myself, and I won't get into any stories, but it's like, okay, I wasn't supposed to go anywhere last night, and my keys disappeared 3 times, and it was within 5 minutes of each other. You know what I mean? And so that was kind of the message I got. I don't know what the emails you were talking about were, but it's almost like the universe is materializing in its assistance now.
Yes.
So it's like which makes it louder and louder. But back to what you were saying too is some people are saying, we'll just use it as we, they, me, you, we, and it. We, if it's one, it's if it's somebody, it's us too. So we are hesitant, are reluctant to look at our own stuff, and that's, I'll end it with saying that I don't have all the answers. I go through therapy every day when I'm interviewing somebody. I'm not interviewing them, I'm the client most of the time. But I do know that once I accepted that I wasn't okay in any given moment, and that doesn't mean like, oh my God, you're going to jump off a cliff. No, it just means that you're wobbled, you're imbalanced. I think we're getting to the point now where we can decipher what's being projected at us and when we're projecting on someone, and we need to be human enough to admit it. But like what you were describing, that's how kind of my day yesterday was. I did a lot of painting, painted the apartment, and did some work and all that. and went into the evening, and I shut off all electronics. I had all electronics shut off. I went on the land, and when I woke up this morning, I'm up at 5:36, and I'm doing my thing and whatever. But I still had that little chatter in my head,
Monkey
and
mind.
it was like moving around, and I was just like respecting it and watching it, and like, not fighting it, not resisting it, not separating myself from it. And then I got in the shower, and I did what you do, what you just said you do. And I stand under the water. I see it as Mother Goddess, and I said, rinse me, clear me up, unblock me, help me be the best servant I can be today. Show me the way.
Well, the lovely thing about nature, Todd, is it doesn't have ego. So
exactly right.
We can bathe in nature and be restored so much faster. So whenever I'm feeling, the head pressures or things in the body that are indicating to me that the energies are higher on the earth and around us, I make sure that I touch base with nature so that I can feel the love unconditionally in vibration that is not attached to any kind of personality or form with ego, because otherwise you get into distortions, and we look outside of ourselves for truth. And so it's important that we go within to the truth that dwells within. And most people don't know their inner truth because it's hidden under layers and layers of false truth. And the work that I do is to go directly into the very beginning point of where a lie or a false belief or a system of control was adopted, and people have acted it out over layers and layers and layers of time in their life, because we're in the hour of suddenlies. And one thing I wanted to talk about was something that came in this last week or so that I've been working with my clients, and I did it for myself too, because I thought, I say to the guidance that comes in, we have labored. I'm on for easy peasy now. No more of this. We got to do this, we got to do that, we got to peel this off, we've got to suffer, we've got to struggle. Those days ended on the end of December 21st of last year, and the equinox birthed the light in all of humanity. So people are ready to hear the truth. It's going to be uncomfortable for them, without a doubt, but they're looking for the way out of what they've been living. And so I must be a bearer of truth. And as I do that, there's all kinds of reactions you're going to get. Some people are going to go into story. They're going to want to argue with you. They're going to want to dance around it. They might attack you. I used to say years ago, I'd be picking teeth out of my behind because people, they say they want the truth, but they don't truly. And knowing the truth, the deep inner truth within yourself, is the only way to come into the purity of that which you are. And so for me, I'm in every situation that I'm in, I have to look at it in the place of what is true for me in this situation and what is true in the other, because their truth is very much their own truth, but it doesn't mean that their truth has to become my truth. And so allowing them to have their own truth, and at the same time asking myself, my first reaction is what I know to be true, but what is actually true. And so I'll say within myself, I hear what I hear with my ears, but what is it that I should be hearing? I know what I know through my own thoughts, but what is the higher knowing in this? And I know what I see with my eyes, but show me a higher view. And in that moment where I'm feeling the effects of the situation or the person that's in front of me as they're casting their truth, which oftentimes it's not a universal truth, it's a truth based on a system of belief. I have to allow them to have their truth and also sit with that in the place of, how am I to respond to this in a place of truth? And so I breathe in, and I know I've mentioned this before, we are the breath of the divine. And so I breathe in that which I am, hold the breath. On the out breath, you clear the field of energy in your body so that you can open and receive and hear the guidance that's right there for you, which comes from within. Your nucleus, your guidance system inside, and expand my vibration. The more stressful the situation that I find myself in, the more that I breathe to bring my essence and my vibration into the room. And I've had a couple of fun times with it too, because there's situations where someone's dumping their 3D all over me, And I'm breathing in. And on the out breath, I'm expanding my presence. And sometimes I'll watch people actually stumble or not be able to finish a sentence because the light of truth will stop them dead in their tracks. And we are powerful, energetic systems in the physical body. And this amplification of our presence on the earth is what we're called to do now, so that people can feel truth. And when they feel the vibration of truth, they'll either run towards it because they're thirsty for it, or they'll attack because they don't want to look inside and face what is true for them.
Yeah. And I wonder, is it even conscious, necessarily a conscious thing, both from the, I mean, it's like, okay, with the breathing.
Yeah.
If we are energy, and if we're in a balanced state and we've done the work, and so many people have, I think we underestimate it. We don't even have to say anything. We could walk into a room and like something like might go down like you're talking about without even anything being said. I mean, we've all kind of experienced that. I know I have, traveling around, people coming at me. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then Morgan would explain to me, well, you're light. So you walk into a place and you don't have to say anything.
That's right. Everything that's in them is going to react. And it's not personal.
And at the same time, I don't know. It's just like it's changing so rapidly. I guess what I'm saying is it's like I don't want to oversimplify it, but it really is to thine own self be true. It really is just mind your own shift, and if you do that, you're going to do okay. You're going to be all right. I mean, this thing's on full blast now, and these anomalies that are occurring, the different visions, sightings of all different kinds of things, including galactic starships, this and that. It's happening. It's happening. You see it every day, more and more. This human resonance that hit yesterday, and this date that you received a while back, April 12th, which is a 3, right? We're in a 3 year, right?
Didn't even realize that.
Well, it's a 12, and it's a 12 year, right? 2000. How does that work? Yeah, it's a 12 year. It's a 12. So a 12 day basically. But you got that, and it was specifically saying what again?
That something will occur for me on April 12th. And I had a sense that it was an embodiment of some sort, that my vibrational signature would alter and change. And I have noticed it when I'm in others' presence, how people are responding to the vibration. It's become more palpable. And I understand that as we hold that light that we are, this vibration, this energy, this magnetic signature that we have, and we hold that true within ourselves and not let it falter. So this is where staying in the truth within ourselves will hold us in that place, that we will walk into a room and our vibration will be recognized by the vibration that is in every other person in the place. And that's true of nature as well. And their essence it's like sort of a homing signal. So they'll recognize that my vibration is in the presence of them, because their spirit will have them look at me or pull them towards me, or the opposite. They'll feel their stuff and they'll want to get as far away as possible from me. But regardless of what they do, there's something that's occurring in that moment. And so I've often been told that when someone acts up in a rage state or an anxiety or some sort of dramatic incident, that it's the energy of my signature that's already doing a work in them, supporting their essence to arise. And to just, sometimes I'll hear, well, that one's going to have a rough week, because the energy is just going to stir like this boiling pot and start to bring all these things up to be seen. And we just have to let them go through that process. But this is what we're here to do. We're here to basically vibrate that resonance so that they can see the difference or the contrast of what is true in their life. And I was in a situation recently in a room where somebody had said a negative comment to me. And it was in sort of that family dynamic situation. And my daughter
Oh,
just gave, you know, my
that's
daughter,
always a nice warm one.
yeah, my daughter just gave birth to a beautiful baby boy. And
Wow.
as a glorious moment. And someone made a comment because I was overlooking this precious little life, and this vibration was just so palpable. And someone made a comment about, it looks like you want to pounce on him. And in the past, I would have taken it very personal. But in that moment, I said within myself, I am here.
Yeah.
And I just breathed in and expanded my presence in the room. And the individual that made that negative comment towards me, the energy caused her to stumble. She took a few steps back, and the room was cast in silence. Nobody could speak. And so the end result was I got to hold my grandson because I was the first one ready to hold him. But even, the other thing with my grandson's birth, which was really spectacular, is there's a lot of things that we are doing that we're not even aware of that we are doing by holding this vibration in ourselves. And in the moment when my daughter went into labor, this song came on Facebook, Kadosh, Kadosh, Adonai. And I just started singing that song, and the vibration was expanding in my presence. We didn't know his name. We knew she was having a boy. And I went to the hospital when he was born to find out his name is Ezra, which means helper, and it's a Hebrew name. So here I was singing a Hebrew song as he's being born. And then I find out that in that time when I was singing, my daughter put him to breast and he stopped breathing, he turned blue. So in that moment, here I am bringing in this palpable vibration. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that it was for his well-being in that moment. And, so what the point that I'm trying to express in that is you may be sensing to do something that makes no sense to you.
Yeah.
Do it anyways.
Yeah.
Just do it, because we're going to be shown at some point how our response to things are, how it all played out, one to the other, and all in perfect harmony.
And I think this is a really good subject because there is a lot. Well, it's duality. I mean, so it's like it's either is it me or is it them? And really in some type of paradoxical, supernatural wisdom, it's easy. It's a simple thing, but I think the reason it's a good subject is because we've been in that mindset for so long. It's always been, I'm talking, before we started getting to be more awake, it was a natural response for us to react or to take projection and project it right back. Like, why are you picking on me? What about you?
It's like, why can't you see the love that I am? Why are you treating me this way? This playing small and downplaying the truth that we know, because it hasn't been understood and we've been under siege for a long time. And I had asked the question, why is it that nobody could see me for most of my life? There would be moments where I would be seen, but then it would be completely. And part of it was not accepting the truth of who I was. And the other part was that we were not allowed to be seen fully. Because if we had come out ahead of time, it would have been a form of destruction upon us. Because we entered into...
There was a little bit of that too.
Oh, absolutely, completely. Because, we came in knowing that this was going to be the game, that we were going to enter into this system, on the earth that would control us, and we would forget that which we are. And the game was to remember who you are in truth. Bring that awareness back into your physical body, bring your creation, your physical body into the light, thereby ascending or returning to the truth of who you are. And when you do that, the light that cascades from your presence on earth goes back to source and floods every other being on the earth. So when one person holds that inner truth of light within themselves, the expansion is exponential in the universe. Yeah. It's a great celebration.
Absolutely, it is, and absolutely, that's why I believe it. The human is the hero. I mean, it's and then having these discussions, which is not where we were and not fully where we're going. It's like this middle ground. So these discussions are helpful because how do you navigate this? What happens in these situations? I got to yesterday, and I started thinking, okay, wait a minute. everybody's coming from the same place. Nobody's guilty of anything. We all went through the same deception or illusion or distortion or whatever. So how can we hold anybody else accountable?
We can't.
Okay.
That's the thing, right? You know,
I
because
know,
all
that's
of
what
us
I'm
are
saying.
all
Yeah.
of us were sleepwalking.
Yeah. Because everybody's like, okay, if I project on you, I'm projecting on you for a reason that maybe you don't appreciate me. But that's my you know, that's my doo-doo, right? And then in the old days, you might just, because it was a second nature, it was a knee-jerk reaction. We just boom, I'm gonna throw this right back at you. It's like a hot potato.
Right.
Well, it's all rooted, it's all rooted in that lack of, like, you don't love me enough, you don't respect me enough, you don't appreciate me. Now, this isn't like, you know, it's not like always literally being said to you or you're saying it, but this is where we're coming from. So I got to the point yesterday, you know, Morgan has this kind of a clearing mantra, right? And I found it very useful. In fact, I use it a lot. And it was like, it goes like this, and then you put a word in it. But I will no longer have a relationship with the energy of feelings of being unappreciated.
The only thing with that, Todd, is that
Thank you.
The only thing with that is that you're entering into resistance to what exists. So you're actually putting your light into something that you're going to continue to perpetuate.
Well,
it's the amplification of resistance.
It's the way I feel, the way I see it, or the way I utilize it is I'm not resisting anything. What I'm saying is that energy lives. There's energy out there that is illusionary energy. It's still energy. Energy doesn't go away.
We created it.
Just by the same token, when you hold that space and the light goes to source and then goes back to everybody on the earth, same thing happens with the reverse of that, the polarity of that. We've all been living with that. But what I'm saying is, for me, it's a good tool, because what it does is, what I'm really saying is, I will no longer have a relationship with the energy of not being appreciated within myself or within anyone else. Thank you. It is done. So what I'm saying is that I'm just not going to hang around in that neighborhood. You know, that's not my neighborhood. But I'm not putting it on the external. I'm putting it on the internal and saying, not within myself and not with anyone else. You know, so I don't know. There's millions of different modalities. It's just, that's what I kind of got yesterday. I was like, and it wasn't just, you know, it wasn't Morgan. It was all kinds of stuff. You know, all kinds of stuff that are coming up in the field. And maybe that's the prevalent energy right now. Maybe it's an energy of the next step to finding ourselves is appreciating ourselves, and therefore appreciating other people.
And also knowing the eternal truths within yourself, because when you know that which you are and you stop the resistance against who you are, then the resistance around you will cease to exist. Yeah. So there is no more battle. There's no more fighting against what has been created. It's just the realization that everything and everyone has come into this place of forgetting who they are. And so when we hold that truth, we can be allowers of what is happening around us. And where we're reacting, where we're triggering, is more than often a rejection of that which you truly are. So what is it in me that I am denying is true in this situation, in this moment? And I'm a firm believer that what we put our light onto magnifies. And so I'm very much aware of what I'm putting my energy into. Am I increasing what I do not want? Or am I holding the vibration of unconditional love so high in me that nothing can touch me? And as you do that, there's an energetic arising that happens within you. And it's like you can see the approach of these things that you have not wanted to engage with. And it's almost like it prostrates, it bows before you, because there's no more of us hiding in shame for the truth that we are. We are arising in it and posturing our place of, we are this, I am here. And no more will I parlay with what you have been bringing to us. Those days are done. And I thank you for the role that you have played, because you are created in love and playing a role, and you have a karmic load now from this role that you've played. And I stand as love for you and lift you into the place of your freedom. The day of suffering for all roles that have ever been played is here now, that we can shift into that absolute freedom that is ours. Something that they had brought into me this last week that I alluded to at the beginning of the call. I was listening to this channel. This woman had called in asking about an injured hip, and the channel had gone into the Akashic record to find out the origin of this injury within her, and that was cleared. And as I was listening, I heard within myself, "Are you listening to this?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm listening." "No, are you really listening to this?" And so I listened again, and then I heard, "You like easy peasy, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah, I do. I think it's time that we step into the fullness of that which we are." And what I heard back was that the light at the inception of the soul, the Akashic record, was created in that moment to record all of the interactions of that light having its experience in the human condition for all of time, as this light has been and gone from the earth. And the Akashic records holds everything from the karmic interactions to the beautiful, wonderful things that we've achieved in every lifetime. And so it dawned on me that we can clear the Akash from the inception of the light into the soul of all of the karmic interference that we've ever had, and pull from that all that we need for this time. And so I've been doing that with my clients. And the first client that I did it with, I'm learning, because this is a whole new way of doing something different from 3D, right? So I'm staying open and allowing and listening and watching to see what happens. And as I'm doing it with the client, I want it too. So I said, whatever is flowing through me now in this moment, I'm also asking from my client as well, because I believe that the days of laboring are done. And so it's like a video recording. So they showed me like this videotape. You know, we went right back to the beginning of the blank tape, and we erased the tape. We erased all the things that we do not want or need anymore. And the lady that I did the session with, for 3 days, she was going through this dense emotional clearing afterwards. And it dawned on me that I didn't have much emotion when I went through it. And so I said to them, why is it that she's gone through 3 days of clearing and I did not? It lasted maybe at most 5 to 10 minutes. And they said, because you have already defined that if you are doing any energetic clearing, you want it done in 5 or 10 minutes by breath only. So you can define even the way with which you release things. It doesn't have to be this laborious task anymore. Yeah. And so, you know, from that moment on, when I started to do this energetic clearing, and it's just a simple alignment and agreement with that is an eternal truth. I didn't know this information before they brought it in, but I say yes. And so, you know, as these things are coming in, it's important that we share them with each other. Yeah. And so those who want to participate in this right now, I'd lovingly gift this to you in this moment, because what happened was I went to my massage therapist a couple days ago, and I had in the course of my life, I'd been in 3 car accidents. So there was some physical muscle interactions, and you know how people carry stress in their body from relationship issues or whatever, right? And so here I'm on the table, and the massage therapist is bending me this way. I was like Rubber Woman on the table. he says to me, "What have you done?" And I said, "What do you mean? What have I done?" He said, "You're not like moaning, groaning, complaining. You're not even wincing." He said, "I've worked on your body for 15 years and something's different in your body." And it dawned on me, I cleared the Akash. Yeah. I cleared the Akash. This is the evidence of the Akash cleared in the aches and pains and muscle tightening in my body. And I thought, this is really good. This is really a good thing. So the way that we do it is, it's very simple. It's when we come into an agreement, we are in alignment. And as we come into agreement together, all of us, it's exponentially accelerated in vibration. So just take a nice deep breath in for those of you that... Okay, go ahead.
I want to restate it just so everybody, so I'm clear on it, but in my layman's terms. So basically, what it is the Akash, which is in all of us, it recorded everything, including the distortion.
Everything.
And then what you're saying is we've hit this point where we've erased the whole tape and we're starting over.
Yes.
And
we're pulling the good out of it. We're not going to have that erased. We want it. We want to glean, those. Yeah.
And we're moving forward. We're moving forward with that.
Yeah.
Which is how I'm seeing it too. A quick comment too is because what I'm seeing is I'm like you. I'm with you. I'm tired of digging in the dirt. I'm tired of. I don't have a problem with shadow. I'm in a different frequency now.
I want to play.
It doesn't require for me to get start crying and doing this. And I'm not taking anything away from anybody else. All I'm saying is I'm with you. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
It's like for me, I've got two choices. I can either use that, and it was useful for us. It was useful for us to clear the shadows, do the inner work. But I can either do that now at this, what I feel is a higher frequency, or I can plow through it like a bulldozer of light, which will clear out anything that's not cleared out.
Yeah. And see, and those techniques, they do work. I'm not discounting them. They worked very well in 3D, which helped us to remember who we are. And that was the way it was. It was layer by layer, like the peeling of the onion. Well, I'm so sick and tired of peeling the onion.
Me too,
I'm just so ready to be there. So this is why my catchphrase with my guidance is easy peasy. I want the easiest direct route to the fullness of that which I am. Show me how I'm in my own way. And so that I can show others the way with which I have found, because this is how we are going to assist others to get there. Or not get there. I want to reframe that, correcting me on my words. We are already there.
Yes.
It's to remove the illusion that we are not. And so what is in the way of my full remembrance of this beautiful, powerful being of light that I am in this human form, and that I'm not even that I am really not Susan. I'm really not this physical body. I am the light of all that is, in harmony with all of you. And so as I remember that and have that cascade into every cell of my body and into my personality, then there's a merging of the two in perfection. And in that, then I can draw you into unity with me as one being in light. And we leave the illusion, we leave the delusion, and we're entering into this new playground. And now we become active creators of life as we want it, as we truly want it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. So if everybody would just like to take a nice deep breath in. We're going to do 3 deep breaths, and the breath is important because it clears any fear or any apprehension that you may have about doing something. And let me reassure you that what you will experience afterwards will be a peace like you have never known, and an opening of understanding that you have never experienced, and an observer role that is a little different from what we've even experienced. It positions you into this beautiful place. So breathe in again and clear, and I'm just going to ask your essence to join me in this. And it is known that the light, upon its coming to the earth, the soul was created to house this light, and the Akash was created to record the records of all of the interactions of this light in form on earth in all time. And so I ask your high self and all that is, all of us, to join as one and clear the Akashic record in your field of anything that no longer serves you, or that has brought in any kind of karmic interaction, despair, control, fear, any of those things that are not of the truth of who you are. And only the things that are of the highest order of light, the gifts that you gleaned, the knowledge that you gained, the understanding of compassion and mercy, and all of the beautiful things of unconditional love, be pulled forward into this now moment for you, for each and every moment going forward. And as we can define the way with which we do this clearing of the Akash, and in the past where we've had to mine the Akash for physical injuries in the body, and then clear it, and then deal with the emotional releases, I so decree that that is not necessary anymore, and that you can, if you so choose, to have the emotional attachments to all of those records be cleared now in the breath. And within, let's go for 5 minutes, that you will have this breathing. You're going to feel an expansion in your heart chakra as this is occurring. And you're going to feel like this can't catch my breath kind of feeling, and just take a good deep breath in. You may yawn and just release it all. There's no need for any drama. We can do this because we are powerful beyond measure. And there's no reason to delay and be held into this place of I must suffer to return to the truth of who I am. So I would encourage each one of you as well to surrender that. I surrender that I do not need to labor or suffer to return to the truth of who I am, that I am complete and I am powerful. And I stand with all others as one light now, in perfect unity and harmony. And so it is. And so it shall be done.
So it shall be done.
And I bless everyone.
That's beautiful.
I'd love feedback. Yeah, anybody that wants to send me an email and let me know how it's impacted them, I would love to know how this Akashic clearing, what you've noticed, because it is so very new.
That's real-time intel. That's what that is. It's real-time intel, you know, and that's what you were talking about.
And I want to play with it right away, right?
Yeah. And it's important that we share it with each other, like you said earlier. Yeah. What we get in, and that's what we try to do here. But, you know, it's taken on a different meaning now. I mean, I don't want to say that, look, you cannot, I was told from the beginning, you cannot miss a step on the soul highway. Nobody can. No. Everybody has to take every step. But there's something has changed, and it's changing more and more rapidly.
It's so
and
fast.
That is the self-programming, the self-clearing, the expansion. It's just it's there, like your team was telling you.
Easy peasy.
You're not getting there. You're there already. You're already there.
Yeah, and you know, really, like the more people that are in this place, standing together, is a huge playground of creators. And so it's like the more that stand there, yahoo, let's get it on, right? What do we really want to do here on this earth?
Yeah.
You know, see things into the way that we want them to be. Don't look at the politics situations. Don't look at the environmental situations, you know. Just do your loving part, and everything that you do as an act of love towards that which exists will amplify what we truly want.
I like what you said about the well, I call it Imaginate. You know, I've been being told this the last few days.
Yeah.
I'll you know, go to a specific place. It doesn't matter if it's physical or etherical. Yeah. And I hear, build it.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of, oh, you know, you're on this point of the grid and this has happened and this past life and all this stuff and whatever. I'm being told Imaginate. Just build it. Build it as, you know, build it right now. Build it in your head, and I just watch it. I'll start getting built, you know.
Yeah, and play with the dreams.
Yeah, it's been happening for weeks now, and part of that message, like with what you're saying, I was told, don't worry about who owns this property. No one owns this property. You own this property. Don't worry about loans. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. Just create it right here because it's a perfect power source.
Yes.
There are no limitations and there's nothing to diminish it. It's the same thing that you're saying. Yeah. And I got to believe that this is also a prevalent energy now, is the, what would you call it? Instant manifestation from the basis of our thoughts.
And the other thing that's been coming in, I know that a few others, I think Grace and a few others were posting about it too. It's like we all kind of hit the same message around the same time. That all the things that I have thought I wanted and desired, that I had been maybe laboring in 3D for, thinking that I needed it, I'm surrendering even those now. Anything that I had thought that I needed, wanted, or defined myself by, I've let it go. Because I don't want, they really guard my words here. I choose to allow the fullness of what it is that is my highest soul path to come in for me.
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
everything that I could possibly want or imagine, and even more, is already being created for me.
Yeah.
So our greatest purpose, if you want to look at it that way, or mission, would be to embody
Absolutely.
that which you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And to
And
see these,
I think that's the big, and that's the other thing too, is, you know, it all goes back to us, but I mean, it's like nobody, I mean, let's get it through our head. Nobody can do it for us.
no,
Nobody. That's
no.
just like with, look, you've been a energetic healer for years and years and years, and you just said the game just changed.
Yeah, I've surrendered, and I'm a healer.
Yeah, I got this new data in. Yeah, and I totally love what you're saying, because a lot of people who've had a path like yours have and like you said, these things served us. The shadow work has served us. These, but it's moving so fast, and so there was some attachment to my channel, or to my past life, or to my galactic family. There was all of that has to be let go. Everything has to be let go. Yeah.
The group that I did the other night, I said to them, like, I don't know how to define me anymore. I call myself sort of no-name brand right now, because if I put an attachment to even how I define myself and what I do, then I'm limiting myself.
Yeah,
and we are coming out of limitation into the fullness that we've never known this. You know, we've had teachers that come onto the earth that showed us a little bit about what it's like. But what I'm also seeing and holding the vibration of truth, which is really what it is, you know, unconditional love and truth, it has a resonance to the field. It's the divine matrix. As I hold that, and I can stand in the presence of someone who is very ill, I can hold it with them, not for them, but with them. And in that, then they arise into the place that is their homeland, I call it, and can experience freedom for themselves. Once they've had a taste of that, then it's easier for them to remain in it. And, you know, even myself, I choose to dwell in this place. And I'll even make a declaration that, you know, she who dwells in the secret place of the Most High is hidden in the shadow of the Almighty. I'm hidden in the vibration of truth and unconditional love. And then there's moments will come in that I'll fall back into an old pattern. It still happens because we're not fully there yet. But coming out of it is so much faster. So it's like it's a whisper now. And I say to the people that I speak with, create some comedy around it, because no more blaming and shaming and beating yourself up because you had a moment where you went back to the 3D aspects. You know, I do it the Homer Simpson dough, you know, like, did it again.
Yeah. And, right? And how much time do we spend trying to rectify the situation, or rectify the perceived perception of others? Like, there's no explaining, you know. It's like getting caught with your hand in the cookie jar or something. Just, hey, I did it, you know. It's over, it's done. You know, that reminded me of I love the phrase "secret place of the Most High." When I first woke up, that was it for me. Secret place of the Most High. And I remember writing this, one of the very first memes that I ever wrote, or one of the first posts I ever made, and it was, the secret place of the Most High is like the eye of the hurricane, where God holds you, molds you, and unfolds you. And that's so, God, that's just like that is it to me. That was always it. Even on the streets, it was like, I can go here anytime I want. I am here. So I can participate out here, and I can do all this, but I can go into the secret place of the Most High. I live there, you know.
The storm is spinning around you.
Brought that up. Yes.
The storm is, you're in the eye of the hurricane. You can see it all going on around you.
Oh my God.
This is exactly what they're telling us there, where we need to dwell right now. Because as I got low battery here, we're draining the battery fast, so I might have to jump up and get my plug here in a second. But as we dwell in this sacred place of that which we are, all chaos we will see. It will swirl around us, but it will not touch us. This is why it's so important that we return to the truth of who we are, so that we can be the still waters in the place of chaos. that we can be that light of joy and peace and hope, so that others can know that there's a way out of what they're experiencing. And, you know, sometimes too, we also have to leave people with that if they're choosing. So if they're choosing to stay in this tornado, this storm, then they're in that for whatever reason, that their soul path, or they're in resistance to looking within themselves and facing the truth of what they've been doing. So I'm gonna have to plug in here. Do you want me to let you talk and I'll go do that? Okay, I'll be right back.
I was looking for. She's reminding me of these phrases that she's using. Reminding me of some of the early work that I did on Soulogy. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Thank you, everybody. Got 99 people in the house. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's see here if I can pull these up. And she's an amazing sister, isn't she? Yeah. All right. So who else we got out there? Tanya Willow, Angela Williams, Susan Aaron, Maria Iverson from Sweden, Anita Prims, Georgiana Mann, Shaz is here, Shaz Hargreaves, Cricket Holden's in the house.
I'm back.
Kelly Bird. All right. Judy Jandora is in the house. How you doing, Judy? Yeah, you back?
Yeah, thank you. I had the battery was at 85%, so I guess the energy's draining it here.
Well, that's what we do, right?
Yeah. Yeah. How are you feeling right now?
I feel great.
Awesome.
I feel fantastic. Yeah, I feel fantastic. Absolutely. I was looking for you reminded me of that secret place of the Most High, and you reminded me of another one. And I wish I had it, but I don't have it. But it's the one where it's actually taken off of a Bible verse. God, I wish I could remember it. I got it right in my head. I can see it, but I can't remember. But you just reminded me of it again. Beirut, Lebanon's in the house. New Zealand's in the house too.
Another one that's really important, and I know that you know, some people have some adversity or conflict with the Bible or what was said, but there are eternal truths that were given to us by Jesus, who is a master teacher, who came in to show us who we are. And the one thing that he said that I always sit with, and I think this is what is very important behind manifestation or materialization, is that you call forth the things that are not as though they are. We see things into existence. It isn't having the right words. It isn't saying the right things. It is an absolute knowing that everything that you need is there for you, and see it into existence. So watch for its arrival. Have expectation and joy, and know that that which you are is creating all things. And everything that we have lived in, that we fought to hold on to, was created from a place of not knowing. It's not in its complete vibration. Like money, for example. Yeah. Money was created from a place of lack, from a system of control that kept us as slaves, you know, laboring, not knowing who we are. Well, I don't know about you, but it's like, I'm not bound by the system of the bank anymore.
I'm not bound by that. I'm not bound by the laws. I'm not bound by, I'm not.
No, we're boundless.
Visas, passports, borders. I'm not bound by any of it.
No,
you know,
we
and
are.
Yeah, you know, and I'll go, you know, I work here. Morgan's been gone. And once she's gone, I'm just by myself all the time. But I'll go into the town and I'll be working all day and I'll have these shows. And this has been going on for like a month. And I'll go into town, and it's a sleepy little town. I mean, everything here closes at 8 or 9. There's a few things open. And I'll start to drive through the town, and I'll think, as we all have, am I crazy? Is this, you know what? Are you just, you know what I mean? Is this magic and miracle stuff real, you know? And I start to go into that a little bit. And then I'll hear, hey, this is your town. You created this. You live here.
Yeah.
You know, look at this place. And it's just this growing and expanding sensation that I'm looking past, you know, I'm looking past all the things that have been the framework for this illusion.
Yeah.
You know, contracts, copyrights, trademarks, possession, attachment. rules, lawless laws, all this stuff. I refuse to participate.
That's right.
I refuse to participate. I think we have to do that. We can't sit there and walk forward saying, okay, well, we're going to abide by this part of the matrix, but we're going to be in 5D. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to defy it all.
We are none of that.
You have to defy.
We're none of that. And, you know, I've seen it in some of the work that I've done. There was a situation a couple of years ago where I was working with this young boy who was having some serious issues. We were in a public beach and the beach was crowded, and I was in the water with him and his dad. And as I went to place my hands on him to touch him, I could feel the energy that was on him that was in resistance to the truth that I was holding in that moment. And as I touched him, it was like I burned him, and he started screaming at me. And he was, you know, quite out of sorts, and we're on a public beach, and his father was looking around like people are going to notice. And I said, no, it's okay. Because when I'm doing this work, I'm no longer on the earth plane. I'm in the dwelling place of all that is. And so they cannot see him. They will not see him. And so he went through the complete release in the water, and not one person on the beach noticed what was happening. And it lasted for over an hour. His father was completely amazed. He says, what's happened? I said, I basically lifted you into the place where where you cannot be seen. And so, you know, there's also going to be moments where I've had people not see me. And, you know, I thought, well, they're kind of rude. They didn't even acknowledge me. And then it dawned on me that they're not seeing me. I'm saying hello to them, and they're turning and leaning over a rail like I'm not there. And it took me a while to figure that out, you know.
I think that's another real-time intel. It's one thing to receive something, but it's another thing and that's another thing that's happening. We're starting to actually experience these things that we were getting. Oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. But I think that's a reality. I think because we're energy and because we're frequency and because we're towing between physicality and non-physicality, however you want to put it, these types of things are going to happen.
Right.
They're going to be happening more.
We think that we're this physicality, that we're all that in 15 bags of potato chips. But the truth is we're so much more, you know. And I had people, I think 7 or 8 years ago, tell me that I was with them. So I was bilocating back even then. I know I bilocated since I was 17, but my awareness of it was probably only within the last 7, 8 years. And it took me a while to comprehend it. And when I inquired about it, I said, how is this possible? And they said, well, are you not the light of all that is? And I said, yes. Is it confined to any particular place, space, or thing? And I said, no, it's in all things. Then why is it unrealistic that you cannot be in more than one place at one time? Yeah, okay, I get that. But me? So it's like the mind wants to argue with these truths that are true.
That's that whole resistance to our divinity.
Right.
So and then like, you know, like it's not like the shadows that are it's really the power.
That's right.
And all that goes with it.
And the fun that we can have, right? So in jest, because I'm a single person and I would love to have a love partner join me in this journey. I had said to them, well, you know, okay, hold on a second here. So if I'm here and there's an aspect of me engaging with something there, what if that aspect of me is with a really good looking guy having a wonderful time, and I'm sitting here by myself wondering, like, where is he? Right? So, and they said to me, they started laughing. They said, don't worry. That which is for you will never miss you. Will never miss you. And so they just said, just carry on. Just carry on. Right? So,
we're going to have to change the rating on this show now. That was funny. That was pure though. That's pure and that's human and that's
playful.
It's like, you know, we spend so much time trying to get away from the human. And then the flip side of it now is the real prize of it all is if we actually get to be human, divine human, like supernatural human, like you know, jump in the Merkaba and let's go to Venus or whatever the case is. I mean, this is actually going down.
Yeah, and you know, Todd, too, the other thing is that people that are in absolute resistance and are fighting against what you're trying to show them, the freedom that is available to them, as it is actually love to leave them in their choosing, because we are here to create this beautiful place and bring, the Eden on Earth. And actually, that's something else. If people are interested, the template for Eden, the Eden template in our DNA, is active now.
Yeah.
And so each one of you can set an intention to say, I want the realization of the Eden template now in my present existence, so that you can step into the Eden on Earth. I've been playing in the Eden template probably for a couple of years. They told me, I think it's about 3 or 4 years ago, that inside of our DNA are all these different templates. There's a template for youthing, so we can alter our physicality, we can alter our ages. There are so many wonderful things that we're going to be able to do with these templates. And they say that there's teaching that's going to come out with regards to these templates. And so to watch for those. It's like having new toys on the block, right?
Toys. I want the youth one. I want the youth pill.
I did that when I said to him, I'd like to head in the direction of 38. And that was, I think, can't remember the time frame. I lose track of days and years, but it was a while ago. And a lot of people, they guessed me to be around 42 in my age. And I'm going to be 60 this year.
Wow.
Yeah.
I need some of that Kool-Aid you're drinking.
But they say the closer you get to the light, the more we're going to alter. And even I may look in the mirror and I may see wrinkles and stuff like that when we look in the physicality of the 3D body. But when I breathe in and I embody, I'm transforming. And that's what people are seeing too. So we are going to be able to alter what other people see when they see us.
Yeah, and I've seen some of that.
Yeah.
I've had listened to people talk about that too.
Yeah.
They see people shifting. Well, we could call it shape shifting or whatever you want to call it, but people kind of think of that are generally in a not a negative but a darker connotation. But no, it's not.
The masters are in the house. So if you have been a master in one of your experiences as your journey of the light, on Earth, the masters were now embodied, and we're embodying them. And so as I'm doing my work, I've been told my eyes change color, my face will change shape, and people are kind of like watching to see what's going to happen. And I realize that as different messages come through, I am embodying the physicality of the master that's speaking to them. Yeah. I just allow it. I'm just the television screen, right? That's going to be what I heard was that the light that we are will cascade a visual. So if someone has a very strong connection to Jesus or to Buddha or whoever, that we will actually reflect that to them, because it'll give them comfort to go within and to connect with the light. And we're going to be living holograms on the earth.
Yeah. And you're going to have a boyfriend.
Oh, yay. Right. Yeah. Bring them on. Right. Yeah.
No, but that's right. And I remember too.
We're not meant to be alone. We're not meant to be alone.
No, we're not. No. But I remember too, that resonates too, because I remember 7 years ago when I was doing my thing, and I started making videos about 5 years ago. I guess it was 5 years ago. And I would just be on the street and I would do these spirit walks and I would start doing whatever came out. It was all spontaneous. And then I remember one day getting this, I would go outside because I didn't have internet, and I would take a walk, and then I'd go upload it, and then I'd go back to the house and I would watch it. And I don't watch them anymore, but I would watch them back then, see how ridiculous I looked. And I remember thinking, who in the hell is that? In this one, he sounds like this, and this one he sounds like that, and they were all different. You know what I mean? It was weird. And then I remember we have 111 views, 111 reactions as of now. But I remember getting a transmission one day, and I don't remember the exact number, but I remember them telling me, you have like 48 or 38 different ones jumping in all day long, like taking turns. And I don't know if that why that was happening. I just know that's what I received, but it sounds like a lot like what you're talking about.
Yeah, I call it the rabbit trail. So I may think that I'm going to go left, but then I end up going right. So I have no attachment to anything, and I'm always in an engaging conversation with my essence, and they're even correcting me on using words like they. You know, it's the all. So no attachment even to how we identify our guidance.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I stopped. Yeah, I still say they every now and then
I'm
because I
tripping
don't
up
know
on
how.
my
I don't.
words all the time lately.
Yeah, I
They're
don't.
stopping me. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm with you on that, and yeah, I'm with you on that. I talked about this the other day. I went out to the pasture over here where I go, like a week and a half ago, and when I started, there was 3 spirit guides, right, from a native life, right, a father, an uncle, and a brother, and I hadn't seen them in years, and they popped in. I thought, what is this? And then all these other ones came out, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I thought I was embodying all this stuff, and it was some type of, I don't know, special ritual or something was going on, some kind of activation. But yeah, I mean, so I feel funny saying they. I feel like I'm not just saying this, but I actually feel like it's an I thing now.
Yes.
I don't mean I as in I don't mean I as in just me. I just mean the you, me, we, and it.
Well, the light has been in multiple forms, multiple personalities in the experiences of the human condition.
Yeah.
But the root, the truth of it all is that the all is all of it.
Yeah.
So, you are the same as me. You're being expressed in this form with this voice and this personality. And I can be walking down the street and I can hear Todd speaking in the voice of Todd because you're still the voice of the divine of all that is. So we retain the personalities, we retain the conjectures of the way that we speak, and yet all truth comes from one source.
Yeah.
It's just expressed in many different ways.
It's getting exciting.
Yeah.
It's really getting exciting.
And what they were telling me, when you're seeing all these different aspects showing up, is that in that moment that you were fully in 5D. So
yeah. You know what? That place over there, it's over on the other side of the dirt road parking lot. It's a pasture of 8 acres, and
that's beautiful.
And I've walked it a few times, but since Morgan's been gone, I won't go too deep into it. And it's not because I'm scared. It's because it's straight 5D. And the other night I walked and it was dark. I mean, it was like the fingernail tip of the moon. It was at, like a quarter or whatever. And I walked out into it and there's a horse, but it was really, really dark. And I'm telling you, my vision totally changed.
Yeah.
I could not see a horse. Wow. I saw energy and I could hear him and I hear things, but this was like more clarity. I could hear the horse talking to me.
Yeah.
And it was a universal kind of collective initiation or ritual or something. I don't know. But I remember I did the same thing like I was talking about when I go into town. And I was like, I went through the whole thing and the horse, the energy was doing all this crazy stuff and talking to me. And then I said, am I crazy? Am I making this up? And then the horse goes like that. And I thought, and it like shocked me. And I was like, oh, okay, shut up. You got it. It's amazing though what's happening.
Well, all things are communicating to us as ourselves, responding back. Yeah. So if you knew the kind of stuff that I'm hearing all the time, I think I was a nutbar. But
I wouldn't think you.
But
think you were.
A dog or a horse or whatever. I mean, I went by horse a few years back, and I heard the horse say to me, "Oh, there you are." Right? It's like, did you just talk to me? Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen you. Right?
Oh yeah.
And it was just, it's such a playful place. If people, were to walk alongside me and see the interactions of my day-to-day life, those that have done that with me, are fascinated by the things that occur, because I just stay in that open place of let's show me all the possibilities, entertain me, through numbers or street signs, and I like things confirmed. And the other thing is that even the going to others now is sort of changing as well, where we've gone to someone else to give us an understanding of what we need to know for ourselves. the call to go within is so profoundly present for us. And so, and that we have to trust that what we need is going to be brought to us in the moment that we need it. So here I am, I had a situation, I went for a walk. Oh, I wanted to call someone and book a session, you know, to have some clarity for me and my own personal experience. And I heard go for a walk instead. So I went for a walk down by the water. Here was this sweet little 82-year-old woman sitting on a bench. She looked over at me, her eyes flashed light. I knew I was supposed to go and sit beside her. You know, sat down beside her, and she opens her mouth and she answers every one of my questions that I did not ask. That's
deep, man.
We are all open channels. When we allow the divine to speak to us from everything, then we realize we are not alone. And there is no real need that we have, but to remain open, to stay in that secret place. And to see from that place. See from that place. Because the minute I take my vision out of that place, and I'm looking at what I perceive to be more real, which is the way we've lived. You know, I perceive that my children should behave a certain way, or that, you know, I should be able to figure out if I should sell my house or not sell my house, and why can't I pick a house, and, you know, all this dreaming. And what they're showing is that all the things that you think you need right now, let that go. Everything's changing. It's changing so fast that what you think you need in this moment is going to be completely different in the next. And so we can look a little scatterbrained to people because we're still called to dream. So I'm still test driving the cars. I'm still looking at houses. I'm still thinking I'd love a kayak, and I'm still playing with those ideas. And I loosely hold on to whether or not they're going to be an actuality. Because what I believe that I'm doing, and I'm curious to see how this will show up, is that as I'm doing this, I am calling forth that which is mine, that's already being created the moment that I played with the idea. I'm going to watch it show up. So play loosely in those things that you think you need. Play without attachment.
Stay open. And, you know, that's the thing, you know, like you're talking about that lady. I've had that type of thing happen to me a few times, but most of it was, probably all of it was, that I can recall, was in the first couple of years when I was in my own little world and in a constant communion. And it was so weird, you know. Like I remember this Nigerian cab driver in Houston, 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, just didn't speak English, and then turned around and started speaking English to me and telling me like what happened to you. And I was like, holy crap, you know. I think the difference now, I think, is there's more of us talking about it. It's more in the open. We're not killing it. You know, we're not retarding the growth of that light expansion by our beliefs, saying, oh, no, that can't be happening to me.
We're no longer believing other people telling us that either. You know, where people will say, yeah, okay, I think you're schizophrenic, you're bipolar, or there's something wrong with you, because how come, like, you're okay, but I'm not okay, and I don't understand you. And there's also that energy of wanting to diminish the light that's still present out there. You know, and what I would say to that is, know that you have dominion now.
That's right.
And so you don't have to accept that, nor argue against it, nor explain yourself. Just be the fullness of it. They'll figure it out on their own, eventually, or not.
That's the thing. Everyone's going to get there. And that's the thing too. And I hope I'm not seeing it as much anymore. And I don't surf a lot, but I get enough exposure to the energy on the news feeds and such. I'm not seeing so many people. They still see it, but saying so many people don't get it, or they're not awake, or this or that. I'm not seeing that as much. I'm starting to see two things. One is they're not saying it as much, which means they must be focusing on themselves, right? And two, two, what you were just saying about, like, you were going to call someone for a session, but then you followed your guidance, go take a walk, and then the magic happens. So that whole self-sufficiency, self-reliance, physician heal thyself, whatever you want to call it, that whole thing.
It
I'm
also
seeing
goes,
more of that too.
yeah, it also goes back to what I heard when I was 17, that my purpose here, if you want to call it that, I don't even have attachment to that, is to call forth that which dwells within, which is the eternal light that is in all things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Edify, which means help them to see what they cannot see. Encourage, which makes sense. Equip,
Yeah.
so call forth their truth within them and release them to be that which they truly are. There's no attachment. It's calling forth the fullness of who they are to walk alongside us, side by side, hand in hand. You know, I love nothing more than to look to my left, look to my right, and all around in this field of flowers and running to each other saying, what was your experience like in 3D? And what did you glean from that? Tell me. And this mass sharing of joyous experiences of the human condition. As we return to that place of freedom, that we're no longer bound to these things that we thought we were. And people have not yet realized that we are no longer bound.
I know.
They still believe this.
And that includes, and this is just me, but the dates, not the dates as in like in the near, like next month or something, but these, in 2020 or in 2024, this isn't going to happen until 2029. I say BS to that.
That's right, because you're putting your hope in something that you're keeping it away from you in that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's, God, it's just like what you said about the shadow work. It's still there. Okay. But it's a different game now. It's a different level of frequency. We've leveled up.
And the big thing, Todd, that people have not yet realized is that when Jesus came onto the earth and he said, the kingdom is at hand, we could have had it then.
Mm-hmm.
We really could have, if we had stepped into that awareness of what we are, that we are brothers and sisters. We are the same that he is. He showed us that we are the light incarnate, light in flesh, and that greater things are you going to do. He was trying to say, people, wake up. You don't need to be in this system of bondage.
Yeah.
We didn't get it. We were lied to. We were controlled, manipulated, and altered. And of course, the longer that we turned away from that truth, and this is important that people hear this, when you turn away from that eternal truth of that which you are, that you are the light incarnate, light in flesh, you then open yourself up to the system of control completely.
Yeah. Which is what we did.
Right.
Well,
and we can turn it off just as fast.
That's right. That's what is coming to light now. The instant manifestation. We're thinking of instant manifestation of a house, a car, a job, whatever. No, it's instant manifestation, instant transformation. Let's put it that way. Like once we're aware and we know it, look, we can program, we can reprogram, we can wipe clean, like your meditation earlier. I mean, it's not, the old methods are all, they're not applicable anymore.
Unless you want them to be. That's the key, right? Unless you want them to be, because some people want to dance. And when the guidance came in and I heard, you don't need to go through the ascension process. It's a collective story that was created to help you to return to that which you are. So you don't need to go through all the pains and symptoms of the ascension. And it's like, I don't? Okay, done.
I'm drinking that Kool-Aid.
And they said, unless you want to experience it, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll listen to what's being posted, and then I'll kind of tune in. And really, if you think about it, I'm just tuning into the station where the story's running. I'm just turned on the video recording at that moment, and I'm playing out that part of the scene. But I don't have to.
No.
Right? But we do connect with each other in those collective stories. So they do bring sort of a cohesiveness until you have more that realize they don't need that. And then we play in a different field. The field of creation.
This month is really, really big. So, and we got 2 more shows today. We're going over a little bit.
Oh, we have.
It's okay. We're at 1:22. But this is a really, really powerful month. I mean, I remember I never paid attention to that stuff, but I remember the last 2 Easters, Morgan pointed out to me, this is a powerful time. And you know, it was, and it was so powerful. I remember it, and so now that this one is approaching, I'm really excited that we're going to be rolling out the new network or from our independent network on Easter weekend. So we'll be talking about that more. You'll be involved in that. Many other people will.
Thank you.
But thank you for coming in today, sharing all this excellent intel with us.
Many blessings to you, Todd.
And yeah, thank you very much. All blessings to you. Hang on for a second. I'm going to sign this off. We'll see y'all back in, I think, an hour and a half, I think. 7 p.m. Eastern.